This is gonna hurt. I'm gonna review this Superman, Stupid Man 2025. Or react. I'm gonna react in real time. I'm gonna watch it in increments of 5 minutes because I really don't want to watch this. Now, Superman, the original, is my favorite movie of all time. One of them. Because, for nostalgic reasons, I was born in 77 and I worshipped this movie. I watched it over and over again when I was a child. I once said that Superman died with Christopher Reeve. I have to do a lot of preamble before I do my reaction video. Watch this dreadful movie, the new movie. When I was 6 years old and I would walk to school in the winter time in Toronto, I would be like listening, singing the song in my head of when Christopher Reeve, Super Kal-El, when he has to walk to the Fortress of Solitude. You know that song in the background? Anyways, I lived Superman when I was 6. I pretended I was Superman. When I was 6, I think I dressed up in a Superman outfit. It wasn't Halloween or anything, but I was dressed up in a Superman outfit, and I was pissing on a neighbor's lawn. I think it was in Mississauga. It's in Burb in Toronto, and I was pissing. I was taking a leak, and the guy that owned the house came out, and he says to me, "Superman would never do that," and I felt so ashamed of myself. So Superman is sacred to me and one of the most easily my favorite superhero. I'll always argue that he's better than Batman, better than Spider-Man, better than everybody. So when the Bryan Singer Superman Returns came out, I was like, okay, I'm really excited. I was truly excited, and I liked it. I liked it halfly because I wanted to like it, but also because I felt like it honored the original Superman in some ways. Of course, it was bad in a lot of ways. Then Man of Steel comes along, and I'm thinking, the best director for that movie would be Zack Snyder. And then Christopher Nolan picked Zack Snyder, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. This is going to be good. And Henry Cavill was like the best Superman since Christopher Reeve. And although I found a couple problems with that movie, mainly I didn't like the way they depicted Krypton. Mainly because I didn't like the way Zod's spaceship doubled as a world destroyer or rebuilder. It was just way too coincidental. I didn't like the idea of the codec. There was a lot of problems I had with that movie. But I was on board. And I liked Batman versus Superman. I liked Justice League. Why? Because I wanted to, and because I was hoping for a series of future movies, right? Right? So then they canceled it with this new shit about Zack Snyder now wants to like cut out Henry Cavill, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And this new actor kind of, I don't know, he's not as good as Henry Cavill. Like he doesn't look the part. And at the age of 47, having to deal with 2 reboots, I'm sick of having to reinvest and like give them another chance. And then furthermore, I don't like Zack Snyder's movies in general. I don't like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I feel like those movies and most of his movies are way too cool. The Suicide Squad movie, I hated that. I'm like, he can't handle Superman. Like, Superman is just way too above him. Like, the only person who should be directing a Superman movie is somebody who's like, I don't know, Francis Ford Coppola. Like, somebody who's just like the top tier, a top tier movie director. Whereas Zack Snyder makes everything into a joke. So let's say I went into this movie wanting to not like it. I was like, this is going to bomb. This is going to be horrible. And even though everybody praised it initially, I was like, no, this is just, what do you call it? Hysteria. Like, it's not a good movie. I didn't even need to see it to say it's not a good movie. So, anyways, I downloaded it illegally because I wouldn't pay for this trash, and I watched half an hour of it, and I think it was mostly bullshit. So now I'm going to attempt to continue watching it in 5 minute increments because that's all I can handle at one point, and I'm drinking alcohol because it's so depressing. Okay, so I've watched half an hour in the last 2 days, and it's mostly nonsense. Again, like Superman is not supposed to be a nonsense character. It's supposed to be deep, right? That's what people don't understand about Superman. So I'm going to continue watching it, and I have little to say about the first half hour of the movie, except that it was just boring, and it just makes me drink, and I just want to watch it like heavily sedated. This is gonna really suck. So at the half hour mark, Lex Luthor is breaking into the Fortress of Solitude. Lex has a creepy little henchman, and she's like got dreadlocks, and her hands can turn into like buzzsaws, and she just starts destroying all the robots. She's basically a liquid Terminator. And then Lex Luthor, instead of like getting down to business, he goes on a monologue about how much he hates Superman. Okay, great. And the Terminatrix, obviously, she can access the Kryptonian computers because she's a Terminator, right? A T-1000. Meanwhile, there's a distraction, which is a little baby lizard that grows into like a Godzilla, which is okay, great. I mean, fine. It's funny. While Superman is fighting this giant Godzilla monster, um, all the people are just standing around watching. Like, wouldn't you be running away? And then Hawkman and Girl and Green Lantern and Mr. Fantastic show up because this is a Superman movie. And everybody's acting all casual during this because this is a James Gunn movie where you never have to worry about anybody dying because everything's a joke. So while this giant monster is walking around causing destruction, all the people are just walking down the street as if everything's fine. I don't understand that part. And basically the Justice Gang, which is everybody except for Superman, Green Lantern and Hawk Girl and Mr. Fantastic, whoever the hell he is, terrific. They're doing all the fighting, while Superman just basically is just sitting there. You see, this movie is not a Superman movie. This is bubblegum. Bubblegum. And then Superman just comments on how the Justice Gang are too violent. Well, he does nothing. While they're doing all the work, he just goes, "Oh my God, they're being so violent." Essentially. Yeah. Okay. So 40-minute mark. Lex Luthor reveals this message from Superman's parents, saying that he's meant to conquer Earth, and then now everybody hates Superman. And I don't like anything about that plot point. Whether it's a red herring and whether that's not true, or whether, yeah, his parents wanted him to just conquer Earth with no mercy. Either way, it's a waste of time. So then the next 5 minutes are everybody talking about how Superman wants to have a secret harem, which is a great thing to do in a Superman movie. Like, that's a really good use of time. You're making a Superman movie, and that's what you're doing. So Superman goes back to the Fortress of Solitude and realizes his dog is missing. How is this a Superman movie? You could do that in any movie where somebody kidnaps your dog. What does this have to do with Superman? So now everybody hates Superman, which is not what I wanted in a Superman movie, but okay. And then Superman and Lois Lane talk about punk rock. Okay, punk rock is dead. It was stupid in the first place. So why are we doing this? I don't know. So then Superman turns himself into the authorities because of the message about him doing harems, and like that he was sent here to destroy the world or whatever. I gotta say, this is every bit as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, there was a small little part of me that was hoping it would be good. So then Superman turns himself into they put him in a pocket universe. That's fine, I guess. Then we get a joke about how Jimmy Olsen is the ladies' man. And then there's 5 minutes of Jimmy Olsen having every chick hit on him. And it's supposed to be funny. And then there's 5 minutes of jokes with the Justice Gang. So my recording app crashed. So I lost some of my commentary. But you know what? This movie doesn't deserve to be reviewed. It's a piece of shit. I'll continue though. I'm at the last 10 minutes of the movie. I mean, just basically all you need to know is that a whole lot of bullshit happened in this whole movie that had no relevance or relation to anything. It's not worth watching. Nobody's ever going to watch it in the future. But Lex Luthor, I'm at the last 10 minutes, and Lex Luthor now just got exposed for being an asshole. Similar to how Superman was earlier perceived to be an asshole. And then it ends with Supergirl, and she's pretty hot, and that's kind of my favorite part of the movie because I like hot blonde chicks. But it ends with rock music or punk music, which really annoys the shit out of me. Oh, but then there's an exciting end credit scene that sucks. So overall, this movie is just shit. I would give it a 1 out of 10. I don't, I think people had hysteria. That's why they liked this movie, because this movie sucks. So this is the movie that you should watch. Watch the original Superman. My God, that movie was horrible. I can't put it into words. I don't know what to say. When you see something this bad, what do you say? Watching this movie was like work. And not good work. I'd rather clean a toilet than watch this movie. So, yeah. This was horrible. At least Man of Steel, at least they tried to make a movie. This was just a conglomeration of bullshit. Oh God, I'm speechless. I'm so disgusted with this movie that I don't even want anybody to watch my review of it because it's just so bad. God damn it, man. Anyways, have a nice day. I'm sorry for this movie.